that issue you're facing may be big, but God is greater. And by that simple formula, the bigger the calamity, the greater the magnitude of the move that he is gearing up to make. A couple of months ago, I watched a sermon by Pastor Tony Evans titled, "Where Do You Turn When Life Traps You?" And I wanted to reflect on some of the takeaways that I took because it was really powerful. The sermon was based on Exodus 13, where the children of Israel were in the middle of a seemingly no way out dilemma. The Red Sea was in front of them and the Egyptians were closing in. A couple of really profound quotes from Pastor Evans that got me really deep. The first one was, when God is ready to move you to a new spiritual experience, he will often do it in the midst of a contradiction and a conflict. Then a little bit later, he followed up with this one. God makes it look like he answered your prayer and then changed his mind. 2024 gave me the opportunity to learn this firsthand and fresh out the oven. The type of dilemma is one that can cause a spiritual conflict within oneself so deep that it can have you seriously questioning whether or not you were ever a genuine believer to begin with. And that's just how hard those hits can come. In Exodus 14 verse 4, it says, "Then I will harden Pharaoh's heart so that he will pursue them, and I will gain honor over Pharaoh and over all his army, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord." And they did so. God's salvation is interesting because it takes various forms. There are the times where he'll pull you straight out, and in an instant, it seems as though none of it ever happened. Then there are the times that he'll help you move around it or somehow hide or shield you from it, so that although you stayed in place, it never made impact. Then there are the times where God seems to point you directly into the eye of the storm with a breach in your boat and no life jacket in sight. And I believe that's what the children of Israel must have been feeling like here. God hardening Pharaoh's heart only increased the levels of pressure and opposition that was coming for them, the children of Israel, who was still only just coming to terms with the fact that they were no longer in bondage. As the pastor put it, they had been delivered from their yesterday. They were literally walking in answered prayers. But yet here they were in the thick of a dilemma so overwhelmingly frightening and inconceivably impossible to overcome, that now they're wishing to go back to the very yesterday they prayed to get out of and were delivered from. In Exodus 14 verse 31, it says, "Thus Israel saw the great work which the Lord had done in Egypt. So the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses." The point to all of this is that even as believers, it is still very possible for us to find ourselves in these seemingly impossible dilemmas, even while still being in the will of God. And chances are, he's the one who's intentionally placed us there. Maybe the enemy did it, but God permitted it. And this is so that we will encounter his power in a way so authentic, in a way that only he can do, and then give him the undiluted glory for it all. God is wanting to use your fear-inducing dilemmas to demonstrate his power and his might, and that he's a keeper of his promises to you. This is how he not only refines, but elevates the quality of our faith. That issue you're facing may be big, but God is greater. And by that simple formula, the bigger the calamity can only mean the greater the magnitude of the move that he is gearing up to make. For those with the ears to hear, listen to what he's saying to you in Exodus 14 verse 13. And Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall see again no more forever." If you decide to believe this with your whole heart, let your faith anchor you in place so that you will see it and not miss it, and you'll testify and give him all the glory. I hope that's encouraged you. In the meantime, stay lifted, be encouraged, and I'll catch you on the next one.